Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This video I'm changing the thermostat. It's this thing here with part number, model part, on the F10 N55. This is a 2013 535i. Thermostat is this thing down here. So first thing, before fiddling on top here, you get the car up in the air so you can remove the belly pan, the front panel here. Have a bunch of 8mm screws. I just open all these. Of course, here that's the front part. You take that off, and then I'm gonna let the car down again so I can work like a normal human being, because I'm not 18 feet tall, so I can get in here. So first that off, car back down, and then start working. And I need to use these ramps because the car's too low. I wouldn't get the jack underneath otherwise. Once you got the cross member out, you can take the fan out. All you need to do is you have to remove, of course, your wiring here. There's a little clip. Just push that in, and then you pull up. It comes out. Just tug it somewhere where it doesn't bother you. Then it's clipped in here. This tab here, you have to push this one back. Also on the other side. But first you have to take a T30 down here and remove that. That is where it connects to your, not a charge pipe, but it's the same pipe that runs down to the intercooler. That's the only screw you have to remove, and then it comes out. Also there's a rubber block here that is then going to be loose. It just falls in usually, so careful not to lose that. Be careful with this nose up here. You had just push it backwards and then you can lift it up, then it comes out. That's the little rubber block that fell in, has the T30, that will fall in. So now for all that stuff out of the way, we can get to the actual thermostat. You just give it a quick tour down here. That's where it is. It's not perfectly accessible, but it's good enough. Now, what do you have? You have a electrical connector down here. On the other side, you have this one down there. That is a screw that holds it in place. I'm going to remove the small one here first. That's just one of those U-pins. You just put it up, then you can slide it off. This one is easy by theory. And then the big one in the rear. This one here, same clip. So also lift up and then put it to the back, and then most water should come out. This here is gonna be annoying. You usually need like a special tool for that. And lastly, you have in the front here a screw hose clamp. And of course, the one you need to open, you can't get to. And the screw that holds the thermostat in place is a E8, which bothers me because for something that simple as a thermostat, now you have to go get, E-tools with this man. And also you would want one of those swivel extensions. They have some more play in there, right? It's all not expensive, but if you don't know, you don't know. Look something like this. Focus. And you can put your the nut on there. Push it all the way, it's solid. If you loosen it a little bit, it has some wiggle room to it, so you can get a little bit around the corner, and that way then you can access it from behind here, like so, instead of going straight down here. It's a little tight because of the rubber wood here. I know not the best angle, but I'm limited here. You can use a pick tool to remove the clamps. Of course, you have your catch can underneath because all the coolant's gonna come out. And now just go and pick the first hose.
A few moments later.
So after removing the two smaller hoses, you have to somehow unscrew the clamps in the front. I had to use a 6mm key because it's crap and they have no access. And then I remove the screw, the E8, and then you can push it back. That should give me some more space to get the rest out of the way. There you have it. Here's the old thermostat. It doesn't look too shitty, to be honest, compared to the one on the X5 that was completely gunk. It's not that easy to get out, to be honest. It's quite crappy. Good note, there's also rattles. I hope that's because that's just what it is and not because it's broken. I would hate to install a broken thermostat. But before I can install, I have to recover one clip and one screw. Fell in, gotta find it first. And I'm still not sure how to connect the rear hose because you have no space to get your hand in there. I mean, of course, if I were to remove the intake here, you would have more space, but I don't really want to do all that. Kind of want to show you what it looks like down here. So that's the gap between the two hoses where the thermostat goes. I have to now install the clip on the rear hose again. You slide the thermostat in and onto this here. I did turn this hose clamp around, so it was initially like the one in the front here, pointing to the passenger side. Now I turned it around so I can actually like tighten it like this, because before it was almost impossible to reach it. This has to be bent out of the way to make space. Thermostat slides onto this plate down here, clips in place, and then you have to screw it in place. Let's get the rear hose on first, then push it on and slide it onto this, and then put a screw in. After that, the two, that's the top one, and the lower one down here go back on, and then the connector, just tucked it away here. It always sounds easy. Just a little trick to hold the screw, some butyl rope in here. No, it doesn't fall out so easy. So I installed it by first maneuvering it in and then aligning it with the boot in the front and the holder at the bottom. Then you slide it onto the boot and into the holder at the same time. You will hear and feel a click. Then it's in. Now I can tighten the hose clamps again. For the rear one here, I opened the clip first, then pushed it on and then put a clip in. That way you need less force to get it on. It's a little easier. You don't have to overcome the spring tension. You just put it in place afterwards to lock it. Now the bottom one is in place. I added the screw again. I'm gonna tighten the hose clamps down here and then add the other two hoses and of course also my connector. And then it's time to bleed this thing. Let's try how this works. Just squeeze it a bit, put a zip tie, and let's hope that makes it easier. So I have to say the little zip tie hack does make it a little bit easier. Now we can take a look. Clamp is on, it's all where it should be. Touching there, just to focus. The screw down there is in, tight. Both these hose clamps are tight. My connector is on, down there. The bottom hose is in, everything is in, connected. Now filling it up and we go into the bleeding procedure. But before, I just take a bucket of water and push this through here to wash out any coolant that's down there, or at least dilute it, so it doesn't look like I have a leak. So you mix 50-50 as a rule of thumb, just a general ratio, and based on the amount to come out, I can probably almost toss a full gallon in here. And then some distilled water. You don't want to use your faucet water, because there are minerals in there that will gunk up your system. Only use distilled water and coolant. Now that's already full, but I know there's a lot more air in there, so I have to start the bleeding procedure first. So turn on the electric water pump, you go inside the car. Foot not on the brake, it just turns once. There's ignition on, you can see everything comes on. Radio is off. And now you turn your temperature all the way up, fan speed all the way down. I do not do the auto just in case. Just the test mode, that's why it's full blast. Fan speed all the way down, just all the way up. Ignition is on. Now you step on the gas pedal for about 10-15 seconds, see what happens. I'm not in the kickdown mode, just full throttle. There it is. Now we hear the pump revving. And this is also gonna go down. Why is it down again? Oh, there it is. It's going through certain cycles and it's gonna take 10-15 minutes to complete. And you just want to keep an eye on your fluid level to make sure there's enough in here. And that's it. When it's finished, it's finished. You do not have to be worried about keeping the cap open because there's no pressure in the system really. You can hook up a battery tender to your battery in case you're concerned of that going down. Usually, if your battery isn't crap, it should be able to do it, no problem. For a moment I thought it's already finished, just after a minute, but now just kick back in again. So be patient, give it time, don't bother it, it'll be fine. So while this guy is still bleeding, just quick summary what you need a E8, external star 8, you need that. For the screw that holds the thermostat, you need the thermostat of course, you need a T30 for this screw to take the electric fan out. Need some basic tools, a 13, 14, 15 hex nut, a couple extensions of course, ratchets, small and large, and a couple of pliers would be useful just for this one silly clamp. I wouldn't recommend invest for a special tool, or you invest in a special tool just for this one thing. You can get it off without it, just not that easy. That's pretty much it, just basic tools, nothing complex. A card jack, a catch can. The bleeding is still going. For the thermostat I caught about 1.5 gallons of fluid and pretty much also what I put in. Almost, I think it goes a little more. Anyway, in the meantime I checked for leaks, didn't see any yet. Of course once I start the car I have to check then later. But for now I'm gonna put the fan back in and put this back together here. All the crossbars and any reinforcement braces or plates you want to install and tighten when the car sits on the ground. So you have it at normal drive height. That's important. If you have it in the air, wheels in the air, you slap it on and then you lower it, you may have pre-tension in there. So it's been 30 minutes now. This is still going, but I believe we reached the goal. I'm gonna top this off last time and that is it. Next thing is start it up, let it warm up. And if you wonder how to turn it off, just turn it off. Still going. Why are you still going? There you go. That is it. System is bled. Warm the engine up. Make sure it's really topped off. So as the car warms up, you can see the steam coming up here. That is just residue from all the coolant that was spilled here and there. Especially down there in the intercooler, it's still stuck in. It'll evaporate as the car warms up. So check down there. I didn't see any leaks. It's all dry. And it's drying. So now I'm gonna install the fan again and my cross members here and dress this engine bay back up. And then I'm gonna let it heat all the way just to make sure it's all fine. And once the car is warmed up to operating temperature, then you can check for leaks, make sure everything is tight. And once the car is cooled down again, then is when you check your coolant level. You don't check it when it's warm, you check it when it's cold. It literally says on the cab. And then you're done. That is all. That's how you change your thermostat on an N55 and an F10. Thank you for watching and I'm gonna catch you in another video.